Hello. I'm going to demonstrate how to construct lines perpendicular to a given line through point P or one particular point. So let's take a look at the first example here. I have my line and I have the point on the line, and I'd like to construct a line that is perpendicular through the given line, but it has to go through point P. Okay, so we're going to, the first thing you always want to do is you want to kind of visualize what you're going for. What should it look like? It should look like a line that is perpendicular, so it's going to make right angles, and it has to go through P. Okay, so what we like to do first is we like to actually create a segment from this line that's given here, where P will be right in the middle. So I'm going to put my pointy part of the compass on P, and I'm going to now cut a segment off of that line. So I'm going to just swing and make an arc, and then with the same setting, I will make the arc on the other side. Notice here how I've run out of space, right? So one thing you could do, you should do, is you should take your straight edge and you're going to extend the line. Since it's a line, it goes on infinitely, I'm allowed to do this. Okay, so now I've extended it a little bit. Why? Because now I've created a segment. My segment is whose endpoints are this guy here that came from the first arc and this point here. So now I have a nice segment. I have this segment here. The next piece we know how to do already, which is we're just going to make a perpendicular bisector of the new segment that I just created, right? And we know how to do this. We've practiced this a lot. So I'm going to put my pointy part on the first endpoint. I'm going to open up to more than halfway or the whole way, and then I make an arc on top. You can go top and bottom if you want, or you can just do top or just do bottom. I like to do both just because it's nice to have 3 points versus 1 or 2. Go from the other side, you're going to make an arc on top, you're going to make an arc on the bottom. Okay, and now you have the perpendicular bisector, right? So now the perpendicular bisector should go also through point P. Okay, so now I've got my straight edge and I finished my construction. So now what have I done? I've created a perpendicular line, and that goes through point P, perpendicular to the given line through point P. Okay, let's try another one. So same type of construction. I want a line perpendicular to this one, and I want it to go through point P. So just like what we did before, and it doesn't matter where P is. P can be in any part of this line. What we want to do is we want to create a segment. So we're going to cut a segment off of that line there. And again, it doesn't matter how big or small the segment is. You want to make sure that you keep the setting the same. That's the only thing that's really, really important here. Okay, so you want to keep the setting the same because point P should be in the center, in the middle of those 2 new points that you just created. So now I'm going to create that segment, and now I'm going to make the perpendicular bisector of that segment. So I open up, okay, and again, you only need 2 points to determine a line. So if you'd like, you can only make the arcs intersect on top or the bottom, or both. It doesn't really make a difference. So now I've got my perpendicular bisector, the 2 points that will determine that, and I just connect it with my ruler. And there's my perpendicular segment. Okay, so step number 1, we've created a segment where P is the middle, the midpoint of that segment. And step number 2, we make a perpendicular bisector of that segment. All right, good luck.